Hello, everybody. Good morning. What's going on? $500 million comes into Bitcoin and the price goes down. So welcome to the daily quick and dirty ETF update. A lot of new findings here today to explain exactly what's going on. So thank you all for coming. I'm going to go full screen. And again, let's jump into some numbers. First of all, Michael Saylor says, see you on the moon 2 hours ago on Twitter. I thought that was kind of funny. But let's get into the nitty gritty here. First of all, thank you as well to everybody in the chat and all the likes. I see the love hearts coming through. Breaking news, OTC demand far exceeds supply. This is from Crypto Quant, and you can see very clearly here, we are going into that supply crunch that we've been talking about. But why is the price going down? We'll get to that in a minute, but there's some other breaking news too. Our friend Stan Druckenmiller, literally, this is from Will Clemente. He said, we're in a regime of fiscal dominance. Everything else is short-term noise. The Fed keeps raising rates higher for longer, just adds to interest payments, making the situation even worse. Cutting rates and having inflation drop real rates is what the government needs now. Message from Will, of course, is I hope you own some Bitcoin. The point of this is, and I've been talking about this for a long time, you know, he lays it out in very simple terms. The interest expense on the U.S. debt is going to be soon 4.5% of U.S. GDP, then 7% of U.S. GDP. And when it hits 7% of U.S. GDP, it will be 150% of all spending, all government discretionary spending. This is not sustainable. Debt spiral is here. People need hard assets. That's why I make Bitcoin videos. Anyway, let's talk about one of the other things that's happening. Market speculation is the grayscale Bitcoin trust drainage, and it's such a poop show. Literally, if GBTC didn't exist, we'd be in a very different place right now. But prior to the approval of spot ETFs in January, there was a big rise in market speculation, leading to many long-term holders to sell or rebalance their holdings into new ETF products. We know that. Also, long-term holder supply decrease since its peak in November of the previous year. And my theory on that is, yes, they're moving to ETFs. They don't want to be self-custodying Bitcoin anymore. So we're seeing some of that. But half of the money, at least in GBTC, was there for speculation purposes, and it's not rolling into new ETFs. So the new ETFs are growing by themselves. Now, the key thing here is what's going on. Again, long-term holder status is changing on the on-chain stuff, which confused me for a little while. But this is now because long-term holders are distributing their coins, especially as the market nears its all-time high price. Again, yesterday we broke 50,300, 50,400, and now we've come back down to earth. But there's more. There is a gray cloud on the horizon. We've been talking about this as well. And I think the reason Bitcoin is down today, we are now at 48,700. So it's like 1,300 down from where it was yesterday. I think it's because DCG, Digital Currency Group, is selling their 1.2 billion of GBTC. Some say 1.6, some say 1.2. I think it's 1.6 when you include the Ethereum Trust and Ethereum Classic. What the hell were they doing buying Ethereum Classic? Anyway, the point here is the Grayscale did say they are restricted in selling, but we're not sure when they are going to sell, and they do need prior consent to sell their GBTC. They don't want to dump it all in the same day, and I think what we're seeing now is a little bit of that selling actually happening. So let's jump into the ETF numbers from yesterday. Again, raw numbers, very difficult to see this as an eye chart, but just let you know, we have them all now. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you want to get this every day. Blackrock had a big day. Last night I tweeted, huge night ahead for Bitcoin ETFs. They got to do a lot of buying. Check the volume on Blackrock's IBIT. Massive buying expected. You can see the volume here on IBIT. 35 million versus 10 for Fidelity. That is a big, big delta. All right, let's break it down and see exactly what they did grab last night. You can see here, second biggest day ever for Blackrock. That's the red line on this chart here. You can see the green line under the zero level is GBTC. That increased a bit, but still under 100 million. Whereas Blackrock nearly had 400 million of buying just in their ETF alone, which is good news. Hello, everybody in Sweden and Australia and the United Kingdom. I see you all. ETFs, you can see at day 20, forget that. But the ramp continues, all right? The cumulative buy of Bitcoin, the dollars flowing in on day 22 still goes up and to the right, despite the net damage of GBTC, and we may see a lot of that today as well. I'm looking at the volumes. I don't see big volumes being traded, which tells me it's happening OTC. I'll explain that in a minute too as well. In addition, ignore the 20 days, it should be 22 days, but the total amount, okay, 6.4 billion was drained out of GBTC and 3.3 added. You add 3.3 plus 6.4, you get nearly 9.9. That is massive. So nearly $10 billion. So the title is, sorry, I was in such a rush this morning. Nearly now $10 billion is in to these ETFs in just 22 days. In addition, you can see here the total amount of Bitcoin in these ETFs. Again, title is incorrect. 154 plus 70. So we're going to have about 225,000 Bitcoin are in these new ETFs, which is huge. But what I want to really get to here is what's going on. All right. We had $500 million flow into Bitcoin yesterday. Yes, the price shot up over $2,000 and we see the impact of that. But the settlement doesn't happen sometimes till after the market's closed. And when we look here at $500 million a day, that's $500 million a day, are flowing into these things. It is massive. Now, I used to have this thing called a 21x multiplier, which was the multiplier on money flow in and the impact on price. So if you have $500 million a day going in with my old multiplier from 2021 of exactly 21, coincidentally, that increases the price by about 700. But right now, these times are different. The scarcity is far higher. So you take the 21 multiplier, you turn it to 42, that results in an impact of about $1,400 increase a day on the Bitcoin price. If you take it to 100, I know that Bank of America has 126, sometimes British Hodl uses 100 as well. That would result in a $3,300 price increase. So we're somewhere between, say, 50 and 100 for this new multiplier. Now, the reason I got my 21 back in the day is because of Tesla. I was watching them buy. They bought $1.5 billion cash worth of Bitcoin. And this is the history of that exact purchase, everybody. Just to refresh your minds, I've spoken about it before, but it's been a couple of years. Tesla spent $1.5 billion on Bitcoin in early 2021. The acquisition took place February 8th of that year, but the purchase happened over a number of weeks so as not to rattle the markets. That's how I calculated my original 21. And Bitcoin, after this acquisition, went from $29,000 to $50,000 in 42 days. All right. Now Bitcoin is weak because I guarantee you DCG is dumping. DCG is saying, hey, take this stuff, sell it, sell half, sell a quarter. That's why we're seeing the price go down. But this, many construe, is maybe a potential opportunity. Now, unfortunately, I was hedged on a lot of my Bitcoin proxies. I covered them yesterday because I thought we were going straight to the moon. That was probably a little bit premature. But anyway, not to worry. No harm in that at all. But the key here is when we look at the chart of exactly what happened, and this is what I want to stress here. Yes, we're seeing some selling probably from DCG, but the Tesla and the IA Multiplier, what happened way back in 2021 was the price went from 28K straight up to $50,000 in about 42 days. And that is what's impressive. So with this continued money flow of $500 million a day, pretty staggering. And we expect that to continue, especially given the action we see here on these charts. Okay. It's up and to the right. I can expect tomorrow when I do this again, don't forget to be here. That green line will go down. The green line, that's GBTC, that's going to go down. And I'm hoping Fidelity and Blackrock will stay constant at between $400 million, $500 million of buying a day to offset. Now, if the current rate continues of a net positive of $500,000, remember, GBTC yesterday had minus $100 million flow out, and we still had a plus $500 million day. That's $600 million of flows. Okay, minus 100 plus 500 is 600 million for GBTC to sell all of the DCG shares with that inflow, it's 2 days of red. That's it. That's it. And then DCG, which is the last crud turd that I know of out there, will be flushed from the system, everybody. So that's a quick ETF update right now, and I'll see you later today on Okta. Thank you, everybody in Patreon as well for being here. This is the quick and dirty, rough and ready daily update. And thank you all. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like on the way out. Bye-bye. I'll see you in, let me see, 3 hours. Okay, bye.